losers round 6 of the brackets. I'm not sure if it's 5 or 6. I think it's 6 at this point. So they'll be starting momentarily. Looks like this timer's just started. I don't really have much information on the routes that they're doing. Do you know if they're both doing Dragon Tooth +5?
Probably they're both doing Dragon Tooth +5. I'm not sure about Simp's route, but Master at least is doing it. And yes, they are in losers round 6.
Losers round 6, okay.
I have recently checked.
Alright. Yeah, so not much to be said about the Asylum. I think everyone's seen it a million times at this point, but they're both starting with Black Firebombs, so they'll be doing the early Asylum kill.
Which is a bit faster than doing the normal Asylum, like going from the top and doing the jump attack.
Yeah, indeed. It takes 5 Black Firebombs to kill the Asylum Demon, and overall you can exit Asylum about 1 minute and 54 in-game time versus around a little above 2 minutes for yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, so they avoid picking up the shield. I think they're going to want to get the bandit knife, and yes, they do.
Yeah. A bit later, they're gonna buy I think the shield from the merchant, the East-West shield.
Yeah, one of the bad things about starting as bandit is you do get the clumsy target shield, which is not a good choice for any part of the game. So it's better to pick up a shield somewhere, or alternatively, you can buy the East-West shield or the heater shield from the merchant.
Yeah. Or after that, you can buy the crest shield, I think it's called, from the from the blacksmith.
Yeah, he sells a really nice 100% physical damage protection shield.
Another important thing about starting class as a thief is that you get the master key, which is an important key for runs in general, depending if you're using some certain skips or not. But it's easier if you get the key, because you get access to Quelags and all the other domains. I know where is Bed of Chaos. I'm not so good for the names of locations.
Yeah, no, I mean that's completely correct though. If you don't have a key, you normally need to do something called Blighttown Skip, which is a series of fall control quitouts. The last one being one that forces you to go from New Londo Ruins down through to Quelaag's domain and to do a pretty precise quit-out. So not having to do that in a tournament run is pretty nice, because if you do fail it, you lose about, I think, at least 2 minutes.
1 minute or 2.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's a bit sketchy to do it properly, because you don't have enough time to react. Like, you gotta see some cues.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of examination of visual cues to get it down, and sometimes if you jump at just a slight wrong angle, you can just end up in the wrong position.
So yeah, as we can see, both players bought some knives, an S-stock and a shield. Okay, so we already explained the way they built the shield, but didn't explain the knives and the S-stock. So first of all, they pick up the S-stock because it's an awesome weapon to perform a glitch called move swap, which I'm gonna explain later on. And the other thing is the knives. They bought them because in some state of the race, you're gonna shoot them to certain bosses to, like, after, I don't know, I think you shoot them to Priscilla to watch her while she's invisible.
Yeah,
you know,
that's one of the things you do. And then the other thing is you use it on the Hellkite Drake as well.
Yeah.
And then Ceaseless, yeah. So you would normally have to do something pretty tough for Ceaseless, but now that you have the knife, you can just throw it at Ceaseless to aggro him, which is really easy.
Yeah. Because in this route, we have nothing besides the Dragon Tooth, I think. I know we have the ball, but normally we do not what to unmove swap.
Yeah. So
it takes time to do it again.
The Taurus fight here is pretty simple. Without resin, it would be very slow, but the fact that you can pick up that gold pine resin on the way makes the fight very fast. And they're going to use this same resin to cut off the Hellkite Drake tail here, and to get the Drake Sword, if I'm not mistaken. Unless they're doing a Bandit Knife Gargoyles fight. I completely forgot how this route works.
I think they actually are doing the... Because... I actually don't remember pretty well if they're gonna kill the gargoyles right now or after.
Yeah,
I
they
think,
might send skip first and then do it later.
Yeah, actually, they are gonna send skip first.
Yeah, so you can see they still got the Drake sword, which will be useful.
As you saw there, they did is they changed the order of the weapons in the inventory, because later on, not later on, but really soon they're gonna perform something called move swap, which is a pretty nice trick to kill for killing bosses, because it makes it very fast to do. So do you want to explain what's move swap before they perform it?
Yeah, sure. So what move swap is it takes the running, plunging, and rolling attack of a certain weapon and transposes it onto another weapon. In this instance, they will be using the rapier, which is a thrusting weapon. So that thrusting running attack gives you 2 attacks in one, and they'll be applying that to the Dragon Tooth. Normally, the Dragon Tooth is a very slow moveset. Even though it does a lot of damage. So this not only speeds up the moveset, but gives you 2 hits in one, which is extremely overpowered for bosses.
Well, both players upgraded some strange, so they can use the Drake sword. And what we are about to see, it's something called the Sandgate skip, which is not new, but a bit new skip. Oh, okay, so sorry. No, they are gonna kill gargoyles first, and after that, I think they're gonna do the skip.
Yeah, so what they did here is they took the bonfire, they leveled up so that they have enough stats to use the Drake sword, and they're going to use that to kill gargoyles. The gargoyle Drake sword kill is pretty consistent. I don't really have much of a problem with it, but sometimes the gargoyles can give you bad RNG where they'll fly up or do tail attacks, so you do have to be careful sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they're a bit weird. They love to fly and jump around.
Yep, so you can see Kimp is triggering the gargoyles fight now. He gets a good opening where he cuts the tail. He's going to try to stun lock the gargoyle and get in one more hit.
And one good thing about killing gargoyles with that sword is that you can stagger the gargoyles with 3 hits. Mm-hmm. So you can do it in a proper order, and you can calculate the staggers. So it's pretty easy to kill them once you do the correct timing.
Yeah, so Master unfortunately getting some bad RNG from that second gargoyle, doing this side-to-side attack 2 times, and then jumping back 2 times, but still makes quick work of them. So a fairly good start for both of these players so far. Basically almost right next to each other.
So one thing about the Drake sword is that it does a lot of damage, but it doesn't scale with any attribute. So in early game, it's pretty broken. So they're gonna use it to kill certain bosses, and after that they're gonna change to another weapon.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to see how good it is in early game, and then even an upgraded Drake sword on a boss like Calamite does so little damage in comparison. Yeah.
Okay, so what we see here is they buy 999 arrows. It's because they're gonna perform another glitch later on, but it's necessary to carry on any item 199 times. So that's why. And yes. I think they're heading for the red tearstone ring, which is the best ring in the game.
Yeah, they need a few things here. I believe they're going to get the longbow, the grass crest shield, and the red tearstone ring. So all those items will be useful for them in the run.
Yeah, I said the ring, which is the last item on the list, but yeah. So yeah. What the Simp did there is a jump to skip, like, I don't know, 2 to 3 seconds. It's not a huge skip, but it's really sketchy, that jump. I have seen many players dying to that.
Yeah, it can be kind of tough. You can see that Master is doing. He did a slightly different version, I think.
Yeah, I think he did the peach mode way.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I have failed that trick many times and died. So.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, so that gives Kimp a little bit more of a lead here. Master's going to pick up this grass crest shield here. He's going to quit out. That's to avoid the knight hitting you. That knight can be really fast sometimes, and other times really slow.
Normally,
yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Every once in a while, he'll just like hop down and hit you immediately.
Yeah.
All right, so Kimp doing some inventory management on the elevator. On elevators, fog gates, ladders, etc. You can basically handle your inventory with ease, so it's always a good place to do things like that.
It's pretty good to keep it clear, like knowing where is every item, because in this game you usually swap between items a lot, so you gotta keep up with the muscle memory.
All right, so Kimp climbing that ladder right now. These drakes can be annoying sometimes, but right now they seem to be pretty nice for Kimp. And he'll grab the red tearstone ring and bone out of there.
So what that ring does is it gives you like, I don't know, I thought it was 80% damage, but I heard it was like 50% damage. I don't know exactly how much damage it is, but it's a lot of damage. I may say that it doubles your damage, but the only thing about that ring is that you gotta be like below 20% health, I think.
Yep, it's below 20% health. I think it basically doubles your damage, but the modifier is based on attack rating. So in terms of how much defense bosses have, it may seem more or less than 50%.
Well, anyway,
Kimp getting the jump back there.
It's the best ring. So what is Simp doing over there? He's performing something called the Sengate skip, which what it is that he triggers something called death mode cam, which makes him see how he does like from the app. And the controls are a bit weird in this place because you don't move like you usually do. But the important thing about this glitch is that he doesn't trigger the gate, which is blocking the path. Normally you gotta ring both bells. One from Collide, one from the gargoyles, you open the gate, but if you perform this trick, the game doesn't load the gate, so you can get through it. What happens is, well, in like those stairs, you perform a parry? No, it's not parry, it's... help me with that, it's...
yeah, a parry and then a riposte.
Yeah, a riposte. And you, like, get to a certain, like, I don't know, it's a box, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's like a kill box that's on the side over there, but you're not pushing yourself into the kill box. You're just enabling the camera that's associated with the kill box. Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome because normally what you do is you go to kill Collect, you ring the bell, and you come back to the Sense Fortress. But now here, and after that, you gotta go back again to go for the Bed of Chaos. And doing this, what you do is you only go once to Bed of Chaos places.
Yeah, saves a lot of time.
Yeah, I think it is like 3 minutes.
Yeah, so. something like 2.5, 3 minutes probably.
Okay, so now we are in Sense Fortress, which is pretty straightforward. Everyone knows the path, so I don't think we're gonna have any problem.
No, it's pretty basic, and you can see that Kimp did a jump there. When you jump at the end of that block that causes the arrow trap to be set off, you get hit and take just enough damage to get yourself in RTSR range.
One important thing about this game is that if you are performing any action, like running, backstepping, rolling, and etc., you get like extra damage because you are in a state called oh my god, I forgot the names. It's
you mean a counter hit?
Yeah, because you're in state like in counter hit state, which makes you receive much more damage than the normal damage.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta. It's pretty important to know that because sometimes you might get one-shotted from certain enemies that shouldn't one-shot you, and it's because of that. So as Typo said before, he was running before jumping, so he's like in counter hit state, so he received much more damage from the arrow, which is the damage necessary to get in 20% health to use the ring.
Alright, so this is the Iron Golem fight. One of the big things about this is you do not want to have to kill Iron Golem. That is very slow. You basically want to deal 400 damage and stagger him, and then deal 200 damage, which knocks him off.
it's pretty important to kill this boss in the bridge, not in the center, because you gotta make him fall from the bridge, which is, as Type said, the fastest way. Actually,
Yeah.
you can stagger him and make him fall, but it takes much more time to be killed.
Yeah, it can take a very long time, especially if you have a fairly weak weapon. As long as you get him in the right position, he'll fall off. If he rotates too much, he might fall to the side and just sit there for 20 seconds or so, wasting your time.
Well, as you can see, it's pretty important to wear the red fuses ring, because it gives you a ton of damage. Killing this boss without the red fuse ring might take a long while, I think.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so Kemp taking the Anarlanda Bonfire, he levels up to 27 strength because he's gonna need that for the Dragon Tooth, and also gets as much endurance as he can possibly get here, which is only 13. So just to let you know, they will be mid-rolling for this fight.
One important thing, really hard thing about this fight, in my opinion, is the mid-roll thing, because normally you're used to how it's called, to light roll, I think.
Yeah, fast roll.
Yeah, fast roll. And having the mindset to swap between the fast roll, between that roll and mid roll is pretty hard, I think. I hate this boss fight because of that.
Yeah, there are some other choices of weapons that will give you a fast roll here, but the most efficient route for this, unless you're using a weapon like the Black Knight Greatsword, you're mostly going to use the Dragon Tooth, and you're going to have to deal with mid-roll.
One important thing about this weapon, besides the damage, is the stagger thing. Because, you know, there is something called in this game poise, which is each enemy and player has certain amount of poise depending on what they're wearing. And one amazing thing about the Dragon Tooth is that it drains a lot of poise from the enemies, so you stagger them a lot every time you can. So as you're gonna see in a few minutes, when he fights Smoke, you're gonna watch him being staggered all the time around.
Yeah, and it's very nice because Super Smoke can be annoying if you can't stagger him in 2 hits, but with the Dragon Tooth it's quite easy to do. Okay, so this section right here is a tough section if you are playing this casually. It can still be a little bit tricky if you're learning to speedrun it, but eventually it becomes a lot easier. You have to dodge these Batwing demons, make sure you don't get a spear in the back, and that's why Kimp is rotating his camera there. So he's going to do that again on this second bridge, and then the last portion of it will be dealing with the Silver Knight archers up at the top there.
In my opinion, Anarlanda might be the hardest part for a casual game.
Yeah.
I think that the game doesn't stress anything about what you should do or where you should go, and Anarlanda has plenty of tricks and hidden places.
Yeah, and you can see that Kimp used the R2 for the Drake Sword there to knock off that knight. That knight can waste a lot of time if he just keeps shooting arrows at you, but the R2 does a lot of, I guess, I don't know, it does a special attack, which allows you to just knock enemies off the side of things.
The other thing you can do with that knight is you can wait a bit before before him and wait for him to swap between the bow and the blade, and he runs towards you and dies because not that smart.
Yeah, he's not a very smart guy.
No. Okay, so Simp is getting the Dragon Tooth, which is gonna be our weapon for the rest of the run. And what both players did is they took the bonfire before the boss fight. Normally you don't take this bonfire, but since this is a race, they are gonna take mostly all peachy bonfires.
Yeah, it's very important to take certain bonfires. You would lose a lot of time if you happen to die to ONS here and had to walk all the way back.
Yeah, it's a big run back. Okay, so Simp there got hit on purpose by the Silver Knight, so he can lower his health enough to trigger the ring. As you saw there, he later on performed from some fall from the stairs. One important thing we have to talk about is Fallen, but we're gonna say it after the boss fight.
Oh, that's unfortunate. So he got the opening that no one really wants to get, and that's the lightning opening.
Yeah, because you don't have anything to do after that. Normally, this guy runs towards you, and you have enough time to to at least hit him once or twice and kill him, but at least once.
Yeah. So the arrangement of Ornstein and Smo there wasn't too great, and Kim kind of got caught in between and died to Smo's hammer. But this is just what happens in this fight. There are so many different permutations of how ONS can set up and kill you.
Okay, so Simp decided to do this boss without the red Tearshell ring this time, because he died and he doesn't want to waste more time. Okay, so Master got some decent openings, not the best, but at least it's decent. And he was a bit greedy and died to shovel.
If you're just grinding out runs, it's probably worth it to go for that. The problem is you have so little endurance that if Smo runs up at you like that, you don't have enough time to run away.
Yeah, and the thing that the move swap attack, or the move swap running attack uses a lot of the endurance. So after that, you are probably not gonna be able to run again or perform anything. So you gotta be careful when you are killing these bosses. Well, Simp did get the kill from Ornstein. Now he's playing the super smooth. As I said before, he's gonna stagger him. But if you watch, what he's doing, he's doing the running attack in certain intervals, so he can stagger him. If he does faster than that, probably he's not gonna stagger him, and he's gonna get hit by the bat slam of the hero.
Yeah.
The hero of the boss.
So
Kim, sadly, Master died again.
Yeah, Kim took it easy there. He didn't use RTSR for that fight, so he could have taken a hit. Master is using RTSR, so unfortunately he did take a hit there and died again. But we'll see if he has better luck this time.
Yeah, one bad thing about this fight is when you die to the first encounter, the next one is not gonna be the same because the scene is different.
Yeah,
so normally you're not gonna get the same opening as the first time.
It's weird if you save before the fog gate, if you quit out, or if you come back to the fight after doing the fight. The way that Ornstein dashes at you is different, and I don't really know why that happens, but it does.
It might be because the way the game saves states, I think. Okay, so Master got a pretty decent opening this time. He could kill Ornstein without Smo, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, that was good. So now he just needs to stun lock Smo and he should be all set. Yeah, has to be a little careful there. One of the things that Smo can do is do a jump back like that, and you can see he has not staggered Smo yet because Smo keeps jumping back from him. So he has to be cautious because at any time Smo can go into the what is it called?
Shovel?
The shovel animation, yeah.
Okay, so now Simp is hitting the light tone. He recently opened the gate, do you need a master key or another key to open the gate? So that's why I said that it's pretty good to start as a thief, because thief starts with a master key and another starting item.
Right, right.
Okay, so since he did the sand gate skip, it's not necessary to go to Pelag in this moment, since he's pretty under-leveled. But he wants something from this place. He wants the dragon scale. He's currently using the dragon tooth, which is a dragon weapon, and to be upgraded, you need something called a dragon scale. And there is one here, which is the fastest way to get a dragon scale. And after that, he's gonna do some glitches to multiply the amount of item he has, like some Pelag souls and and the skills, so he can upgrade the dragon to +5 and do a lot of damage.
Yeah, the damage is pretty incredible. Even if you don't use RTSR in this route, with Dragon Tooth +5, you kill bosses pretty fast.
57 strange.
Yeah.
Right.
Alright, so Kemp takes that bonfire and then heads towards Quelaag here.
One important thing that I forgot about, it's that even that I said that he doesn't have to ring both bells because he already got through Sen's fortress, he has to ring the bells to waken up the ugly serpent. I forgot the name.
That's Frampt.
Yeah, Frampt. You gotta wake up Frampt so you can perform a quantity cell glitch, I think it's called.
Quantity storage.
Yeah, quantity storage.
So the Quelaag fight, I don't know. It can be easy, it can be hard. It depends on if she surrounds you with lava or not.
It depends on her mood.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but normally it's straightforward. You just move swap and kill her with, I don't know, like 4 attacks, I think it is. Or 3. Depending if you're using Red Tears Ring or not.
So, gets the jump opening. Wastes a little bit of time getting the jump opening, but in general, if you can get her in a good location and get her to do a slower attack like that one, you can get a lot of damage in.
Normally, all Quelaag's attacks are punishables, except that one.
Oh man,
was a bit greedy. Okay, so what happened there is she performed an explosion attack which deals a lot of damage, and he was running backward, so he received the counter hit.
Yeah, that's the one thing you want to be cautious of there. You don't really want to run away from her if you're really close to her when she does that attack. You basically want to just stand there and block it with the Dragon Tooth.
Yeah, you're gonna take a lot less damage if you do that instead of running back. But one thing about that is that he triggered the bonfire, because now... Okay, so normally you do not trigger any bonfire in this place because you cannot warp between them, because you kill... So if you are doing the game as it should be, you are gonna kill Smug and Ormstein after this boss, so you cannot warp. But now that he did the Sengate skip and he's able to warp between bonfires, he took the previous bonfire and he didn't have to do a long run back from the Firelink bonfire. But he lost a lot of time, and Master is about to what's wrong with me? I'm forgetting all the words.
Enter the boss fight, yeah.
Yeah, as well.
Master actually took a little bit of damage by using the slope there, which is an interesting thing you can do. And that got him closer to RTSR range. Pretty fast fight here so far from Master. Nice. Okay, so he pulls ahead, getting a really quick Quelaag fight. Meanwhile, Simp is almost done. Okay, so Master ahead only by, I think, probably 5 seconds or so, and Kemp right behind him. So they're going to ring the bell here, and then they're going to roll down.
Now he's about to trigger another bonfire, and after this he's about to do a lot of tricks, which is all the same trick but many times. What we're gonna do now, he's gonna put the Dragon Tooth and the Dragon Scale and the bombs into the bottomless box, and then he's gonna warp to Firelink and perform something called the quantity storage glitch. Do you want to explain the thing?
I wish I could, but I've never done it.
Okay, so I'm gonna I'm gonna explain. I don't know exactly what happens like inside the engine, but I'm gonna explain what happened on the outside. So first of all, he's gonna prompt a box of 999 arrows, which he bought before, and after that he's gonna do some weird things, which is like using a bone between animations, so the bone doesn't trigger. So when you are talking to Front, it triggers and it opens a prompt which says if you're gonna use the Well, the things that if you are gonna use the bomb, the things that, in my opinion, you confuse the game and you make them think that you're gonna buy or you're gonna sell 900 or 99 amounts of a certain item. So what we do with that is we multiply the bombs because we need them to kill the butterfly. We multiply the skills because we're gonna upgrade the dragon tooth to +5. And another amazing thing we do here is we sell 999 Quellac souls, which we do not have, but as we said before, we make the game get confused and think that we do have them. And what it does, like we get, I don't know, like 1 million souls, a billion souls. I don't know.
It's a lot of levels.
Yeah,
you don't even need to use all of them. It's just like waste time after a while to level up.
Yeah, actually, as you can see on Simp's screen or Master screen, they do not level up strength to like 100. They only level up to 57 because there are two things in here. Well, the first thing is that scaling start to scale a lot less when you reach certain point, which is I think 50. And the other thing is that even if you place 100 into strength, you are not gonna one-shot bosses, so it's a waste of time, and you're gonna need the same amount of hits to kill all the bosses, even having more strength. So it's not necessary.
Yeah. So coming up here is the ceaseless discharge fight. Normally what you'd have to do is shoot him with an arrow and then move swap in the fight, which can be somewhat difficult. This is easier because you can move swap beforehand and then just throw a dagger at them, which they bought earlier at the merchant in Undeadburg. So you see that Kimp already moved swap there. He's going to throw a dagger to aggro him, and then he's going to try to get him to do this single slam attack. You don't really want to see any other attack from him.
As we said before, even without the red Tearstone ring, the Dragon Tooth +5 does tons of damage. It does like 1,000 per running attack or so, without the red Tearstone ring.
Yeah, so pretty quick fight there. You can't get a one cycle, so that's about as good as you're gonna get.
One important thing about bunning out from each boss is that you gotta wait for the victory text thing on the screen, because otherwise you are not gonna like properly kill the boss, and it's not gonna count, and you gotta go back again to kill the boss.
Yeah.
Okay, so now they're gonna do something called a Fire Sage elevator skip.
No, I can explain this one if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. So what this is the elevator is actually owned by Demon Ruins, but you're currently in Quelaag's domain. So the elevator is the last item to load in to the screen. And since it loads in so slowly, you can actually clip through it. Now, every time you quit out, your character moves back just slightly. And if you quit out enough times, your character will move back far enough so that he or she will just fall directly through and go into the Fire Sage fight. And one of the bonuses about this is Fire Sage's AI is disabled, so all you have to do is run around hitting him.
One important thing is that when you start falling, you have to perform a plunge attack in a certain moment. Otherwise, you die to do it full damage.
Yeah, and if you're positioned wrongly, you can also hit the ledge as you're falling down, or fall too far back.
One thing I said before, which is important to mention, is in this game you might receive falling damage. It's calculated based on different things, which might be the. Okay, so. Do you know how this works properly? Because
which one?
The fall damage thing, because there are like two types of damage, like the lethal damage and the like height based height distance.
Yeah, I mean for the most part, I just pay attention to the fact that there's you take the same damage whether or not you're without regards to
the important thing is that it doesn't matter how much vitality you have. The damage is based on the percentage. So
yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Go ahead though.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing about this game is that if you jump from some like I don't know, certain altitude, you might die to lethal fall damage. But otherwise, if you can receive the damage, you don't die and you take damage based on percentage. One important thing about this is that you might want to fall in certain places to lower your health to trigger the ring. And another important thing about this is because of the way the games checks if the damage is lethal or not, you can abuse that and perform something called like fall control quitouts or without fall control. I don't know how is the glitch called without the fall control, but
yeah,
you can do that.
There's a number of different things. There's slope quitouts. There's fall damage cancel. So there's a number of ways to do things like that. Okay, so this area is terrible. Just shield your eyes. You don't need to watch this.
And normally this place is not that easy because you are a bit lost. Not a bit, that you are really lost. Because Bed of Chaos is different boss between all the bosses. It's much more like a maze than a normal boss. Like to get through the boss is quite impossible. No one tells you that you gotta go from that side of the lava and go uphill from certain route.
Yeah, it takes you a while to figure it out, and it's definitely a puzzle boss and one that I think most people dislike.
Yeah, but there is something interesting about this boss is that some guy called Taki, I think it's not discovered. He created a way to kill this boss really fast. Because normally this boss sucks because when you enter the fog gate, you see like a pile of wood and arms and shits. And what you gotta do is you gotta like walk around one side, kill something, walk around the other side, kill another thing, and walk to the middle and kill another thing. It sounds pretty easy, but it's not that. It's pretty hard because the floor falls and you get hit many times by the
firestorms.
By the boss. Yeah, and firestorms. So what you do here is you run straight forward. You perform a back step in certain place, and you aim with the bow in one not tiny space, and you throw a bomb there, and you trigger the boss twice, and then after that you're able to kill the boss finally.
Yeah, makes it really easy. You do need to be careful about where you aim, though, because if you miss the second one, you're going to have to line up pretty quickly to throw another bomb to avoid a firestorm.
Yeah, probably you're gonna die. And the other thing that you gotta be, you gotta pay attention is even when you hit the second bomb, you gotta be careful because you might get hit by firestorms in the path.
Yeah, that's always risky because the firestorms can actually double hit you if you get the unfortunate additional damage. It pushes you up in the air and then you can get hit again by the firestorm, and that almost will definitely kill you no matter how much health you have, I would think, unless you have a ton of resistance.
Yeah, sometimes you might get comboed by some bosses or some enemies. It's awful. Sometimes you might get comboed by arm stay and smooth.
Oh yeah, that as well. Okay, so they're running into Darkroot Garden here. They're going to open up the door to Darkroot with the Covenant, and then I'm not sure what order they go in. They might do Dusk first.
So you might think why they have to kill the Dusk, and it's because this game it's pretty well designed in terms of giving the player the information to get through the game. I'm laughing on this because you gotta kill the Dusk, so it's possible to open a gate to the DLC of the game, but no one says anything about this because, okay, I'm gonna explain it. So first of all, you go to the Hydra and you kill the Hydra and go to the end of the water place. You after that don't see anything. You quit out and suddenly Golem appears. So you kill the golem, and after that, suddenly again, a dusk which is inside the golem appears and talks to you. After that, you gotta go to another random place. You gotta kill another random golem, which drops a random pendant, which allows you to open the gate to the DLC. But as I said before, no one explains that shit.
Yeah, if you happen to do Siegmeyer's quest, then you learn more about killing golems.
Yeah. Well, actually, there might be some NPC which might say something, but this game is designed to trick you out.
So, Kemp is going to the Hydra here. The Hydra, I don't know, it's not really that bad. You throw some bombs, you block the attacks, and you do some jump attacks to hit the Hydra heads. The only problem is sometimes the camera gets messed up, as you can see with Kemp there, so it can be hard to figure out where the Hydra heads are exactly.
Well, one thing I forgot about the falling damage is that it's based as well as with the amount of weight you're carrying. So there, Simp failed the jump in terms that he didn't equip enough items to get more damage. As you see there, he has like so little HP, but he's not below 20% HP, so he couldn't kill the Hydra with the red tears ring.
Yeah,
like,
not allowed Master to pull ahead again.
Yeah. And I think that's because he forgot to equip something.
Yeah, most likely. You need to make sure that you have the correct items equipped when you do that higher jump off of the ledge there. Otherwise, you're going to be slightly below the amount that you need.
Well, he almost got killed by the attack of the golem.
Yeah, you have to be careful about the attacks that the golem does. But in general, if you have RTSR, it's an easy kill. If you don't have RTSR, I think you need to do one extra hit.
Yeah, the thing that you don't have to think much about that. You gotta be fast, otherwise you get jumped by the golem.
Mm-hmm. Now you can see that Master got an RTSR set up there from that knight. That knight doesn't always do the same attack, but they both got a good attack, so that's
well,
nice.
actually, that knight it's called a consistent knight.
Yeah.
He normally does the same attack. It's not been that consistent for me in a long while, but...
So they both get a little skip there called Rune Skip. Rune Skip is when you walk on the rubble on the bridge, and you're able to get to that chest quicker. I think it might save like 10 seconds or so.
I think the important thing about that skip is when you run through the previous gate, you get chased by the bandit, and if you don't get the chest doing the skip, you might get blocked by the bandit on your way out. So you need to quit out, and since this is a RTA run, it's gonna take a lot of time. So something happened with Simp's screen.
Oh yeah, it looks like it just lagged there for a bit.
Okay, they are now about to kill Sith, which is a bit strange boss. He normally acts like a normal sword-bearing wolf, but one important thing about this boss is that he might troll you and start jumping like a rabbit a lot. If that happens,
my God, that was close.
Two things may happen if that happens. The first one is that you may lose a lot of time, or since you're using red user ring, you might get hit by those jumps. It does really little damage each time he hits you jumping, but it might kill you. I have lost a lot of runs because of that dude.
Yeah, and you can see that some boss RNG and some small mistakes are making these two guys move back and forth in between who's in the lead. So Kemp has once again pulled ahead, but we'll see how Butterfly goes.
Yeah, even the Master died like 3 times to ONS.
Mm-hmm.
But one important thing that is that the Master uses Red Tears Ring to kill almost every bosses. He uses to kill Kiwalag, the Hydra, and I don't know. I think those are the only bosses that Sims didn't use the Red Tears Ring.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
As you can see, he did it pretty fast using the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as I said before, this route only uses the Dragon Tooth to kill all the bosses. But one thing is that Butterfly, which is a boss that you gotta kill, it's really hard to kill with normal weapons because he's flying. You may wait him to place on the bridge and kill him with a weapon, but it's gonna take a lot of time. So it's much better to dupe the bombs and throw them to the boss until he dies.
Yeah.
Because as you see there, the boss died before landing on the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Cimp got a really good fight. I don't think he missed a single bomb, and the attacks that he got from the butterfly were pretty good. So yeah, that was nice.
And the important thing is that they are both wearing the stone armor set, which gives you a lot of poise, which I mentioned before, and it makes you possible to receive a lot of damage from the boss and not caring about it.
Yeah, so they're now heading into Inner Orlando. The first thing you need to worry about here is timing the roll for the boar. That boar can do a lot of damage to you and also knock you down. So you want to make sure that you use your iframes to roll through the boar and make sure your stamina is in a good rate so you can keep running and not have to worry about the boar coming up behind you. Oh, wow. That was interesting.
One of the things I really love about this game is the iframes of the rolls, because no one's when you know about that, you're not gonna wear any armor after that. Like, you're gonna be naked forever.
Yeah.
Because the iframes are pretty broken in this game. You might use it for all of the attacks, all the bosses. Okay, as I said before, they're about to kill some random golem that appeared in Duke's Arches. So this golem drops something called the Broken Pendant, which is the key item to open your way to the DLC. And it's the only way to get through the DLC. If you don't get that Broken Pendant, you are not able to get into.
Yeah. And moving on from there, we see Cimp is going on this second elevator, and this is where he will perform the Duke Skip. Duke Skip is just a simple sequence break that avoids the scripted death to Seath. And
Simple,
what he will
not
do,
that simple.
I mean, it's simple in theory, but it takes a long time to learn.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is move off the side here. You want to land on that railing, the one that Cimp just missed there. But basically, you land on that railing, you move towards the center of that little side part of the railing, and then once you get into a certain position, you can roll off onto a lower area, which allows you to proceed through Duke's Archives very quickly.
I'm not sure, but I think that this is the biggest break of the sequence break of the game. It
saves at least 5 minutes, I think.
Yeah. Because okay, so if you're playing this game like a normal playthrough, you encounter the boss in another place which is unable to be killed, and then you are sent to jail to another place, and blah blah blah. And you lose a lot of time.
All right, so Master heading out into the field over here, where there are a number of golems. He won't have to worry about any of them. You can kind of just walk past them. He's going to go towards the invisible platforms. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's see if he's gonna do the manly jump or the beach one. Because here you have like 2 options to perform a jump to lower your health, and one saves like, I don't know, 2 more seconds than the other one, but you may die because of that. I have died many times.
Definitely more precise, and he looks like he's skipping it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty precise in my opinion. I don't think that they're gonna take any risk in a race. Like, it's not necessary unless you're if you're doing finals, I think.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Cimp is going for it, and so he went to hit that little ledge there, which he did, and then that. So another thing that looks pretty easy, but if you're a little bit off on your positioning, you can just die and waste an incredible.
What might happen is that instead of hitting the ledge, you might slide from it and die.
Mm-hmm. All right, so clams.
I
do not want these in the fight, and there are a number of different ways to get through this area to try to avoid getting clams into the fight. What Master did there is he basically tried to bait out attacks from all those clams so that they can't get to the fog gate quick enough to end up in the fight, and we'll see if it works for him.
And another important thing about this boss is that, as you can see, he has a core, like a glowing core, and you wanna hit him in that core. But the problem is that since you are swapping the weapon, and it's a really large weapon, you might hit. Like if you do it like straight, hit it like straight forward, you might cross the core and hit him in the back, which does less damage than hitting him in the core.
Yeah.
And it's like 3 times cycles instead of 2 times if you hit him properly.
Yeah, and that is it for this part of the main game, at least. I think they're going to the DLC now.
Yeah, okay, so another important thing that I forgot to mention is killing the Hydra isn't necessary for the route, but it's necessary to open the DLC. And another important thing that he drops a ring. I forgot the name of the ring, but as you can see, each time you equip the ring, you lower your health. You halve your health, and it's pretty good to perform jumps on shits to lower your health to trigger the ring, the red user ring.
Yeah.
And it's not a glitch, it's not a trick, it's nothing. It's just the way the game works. But they didn't thought that we are gonna use it to trigger the red user ring.
So you can also see that Master went down to the bottom of the basin a different way than Cimp did. Master used what is a plunge, and the plunge is actually something that allows you to cancel your fall damage by doing a R1 while not in move swapped. And when you are falling, it still thinks you're in the plunging animation, so when you hit the ground, you can just roll without any damage.
There are 2 options performing that glitch. One is with full control, and the other one is without full control. Without full control is a bit harder because you have to roll at the end. Okay, so this boss might troll you sometimes, as he tried to troll Master. But the good thing about this boss is he gets triggered with just 1 hit. So if you are able to hit the boss, you might kill him instantly.
All right, I think they both took advantage of the that attack, the one where Guardian does lightning and flies around the corner. You can punish that by turning towards Guardian as he's flying and then running towards him and doing a running attack.
Thank you.
So not a bad fight for either of them. They're going to get hidden body here, which is pretty important for the DLC.
Yeah, if you are not using hidden body, probably this game wouldn't be so amazing, I think. Like, because of the DLC, the DLC, it's a really strange place. Because there are some like corrupted monkeys, which deals a lot of damage, and they are pretty RNG. So
yeah.
Well, we're gonna see them later on. So here, what we are gonna see, it's a scheme, which I forgot the name, the proper name of the scheme.
It's Royal Wood Skip. Yeah.
Thanks. And one important thing about this skip is that it saves, I don't know, like about 2 minutes, because otherwise you gotta perform a pretty long route, I think. Well,
yeah.
Anyway, so
yeah, it takes a while to run around.
Yeah, what we do here is we phase the. Oh, he failed the
consistent setup by Stennis. Thank you, Stennis.
Yeah. So thanks to Stennis, he performed this setup for the skip. So you face the railings, you step back, you perform a back step, and then a plunge attack, and you hit the ledge.
I'm sorry, I have to keep from not laughing.
It's okay.
Oh, okay, so Cimp got it, and he's going to buy some stuff from this guy over here. I always forget his name.
I actually think that I have never know how this guy's called.
Oh.
Marvelous Chester, that's his name. So yeah, this is the Artorias fight. You can kill him really fast, like seriously fast in this route. So 2 attacks, and then 2 more, and oh my god, that was so close.
Yeah, sometimes you might get trolled by this boss because he doesn't does the boost thing, like what he's doing with Master. He skipped the boost.
Yeah.
I don't know why that happens sometimes, but it might happen.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really knows why Artorias does certain things differently. Sometimes you just don't get him to do the buff. So Kemp here is actually going to run in the opposite direction. He's going to go trigger Calamite before he does anything else.
Another intuitive thing.
Oh yeah, very, very much so.
Yeah, this does a lot of sense. So okay, he's running to trigger Calamite. Okay, so can you explain? I got a problem. So
yeah, sure. So you can go and try to kill Calamite without triggering him first and then talking to Go. But the problem with that is you need a bow and a lot of time, and you don't have a strong enough bow, and you don't want to waste all that time in a speed run. So your choice is to go into the Calamite fight. As soon as you see Calamite fly by, you bone out, and then once you get the crest key, you can go talk to Go. Go will shoot Calamite down for you, and then Calamite will just be another normal boss fight. So just makes things a lot easier and faster.
So what I was laughing about before is that you gotta do a lot of things to be able to trigger the real fight with the Calamite, and it's really not intuitive.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kimp is running through the DLC. In many roads you may have a full control heal here, so it's pretty easy. But since you are not using spells in this, okay, you are using spells, but since you are not using full control in this route, you need to do the long way, and it's not that easy because there are a lot of monkeys. And as I said before, these NPCs or enemies are really RNG. They are, in my opinion, they are like similar to the Hollows. Like they do whatever they want. They're really like rebels. And the main problem with that is that they do a lot of damage. So sometimes you might get hit by that jump attack of them and die instantly.
Yeah. It is a lot of damage, even with as much health as they have now. So they have to be careful.
And another important thing is that in the DLC there are something called the Sorceress, which is dark magic, which is broken. I have to say it, like dark magic in this game, it did break the game, like.
Yeah, I mean, Darkbeat is very overpowered. I would admit that.
But I think all the dark spells are broken. They do a lot of damage. I think that Darkbeat is the only one we use because it's in the way. But if you manage to pick up any other one. Okay, so Master failed the Lloyd Talisman on the how is that test called?
That's a Mimic.
Okay, the Mimic. How do I forget the Mimic?
Yeah, so he picks up the crest key by doing that. If you don't use a Lloyd's Talisman, you have to kill the Mimic, which takes longer. And then you have this chain prisoner over here, who seems like he can really just kill you so easily, but becomes a lot easier once you learn his patterns.
So Kim performed a quit out there because he didn't want to wait for the elevator to come back, I think. Normally it's faster because you use in-game time, but since this is real time, it's not gonna save up much time, I think.
Yeah. The other thing is on that elevator, a monkey comes up, so you have to be careful about that guy.
Okay, well, so one important thing worth mentioning is that they both didn't take the pitchy bonfire of Manus fight, so if they manage to die, they're gonna get a really long run back.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is completely up to the runner. I would take the bonfire, even though I'm pretty confident in the Manus fight, but I don't know. Maybe they both feel like Manus isn't much of an issue. I do find that Manus is a pretty consistent boss for the DLC. He does flag his attacks very well. You just have to be careful about some things, especially his jump attack, where he can hit you in the face with his knees.
I think that the most difficult thing about this boss is that you gotta know all his movements and spells, because he later on in the fight, when he is like below 70% health, I think he starts using the spells, and he might use 3 spells, and for each spell you have to do something different.
Yeah.
And you don't have enough time to think about it, so you have to do it like instantly each time he performs a certain movement.
So Kimp having a nice fight there. Looks like Master... Yeah, so Master's going to hit him in the side too. Hitting him in the side is pretty nice. If you hit him in his hand, you do risk occasionally getting him to do an animation cancel. He does miss a back step there, so he will have to wait out another Dark Rain. And another Dark Rain.
What a troll.
Yeah. And now he's walking around, okay. I can't say this is the best Manus fight I've seen, but Master finishes him off.
But at least he didn't die.
Yeah.
So what we saw there in Kim's screen, he talked to Ghost to make him shoot an arrow on Calamit's knee. No, I'm joking, but he shoots an arrow to Calamit, so he stops flying and you're able to engage him properly.
Yeah. So Kim's heading to that fight now, and Master's going to go talk to Go. The Calamit fight, I would say it's one of the tougher ones for me. Calamit can have some odd hitboxes on some of his attacks. In particular, there's a side-to-side neck snap attack that he does, which can actually push you to the side. And if you're in a bad position, you'll almost always get hit by it. So you need to be careful about your positioning and how you roll attacks in this.
Yeah. Well, normally people doesn't have much troubles in the DLC because they practice it a lot. Because it was just to kill all the runners. So nowadays they are all pretty good on this section of the game.
Mm-hmm. All right, so starts out with a very good attack here on Calamit. He can get 2 running attacks in. Calamit is still a fast fight with the DT +5 RTSR, just 3 running attacks. Has to be careful about that neck attack, but he should finish him off here, and he does. So pretty fast fight for Kim.
He was a bit greedy in my opinion, but didn't receive any punishment, so it was okay. These dogs are pretty hateful. I really hate them. I don't know why the creator of this game decided to be so annoying with the dogs. Like all Pixels games have these annoying dogs.
Yeah, and then they start warping in other games, so you know they didn't learn from the first one.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like, I think that they love them because otherwise they will change it.
Yeah,
it's
otherwise
like,
they'd make them easier. They just basically made them harder. So
it's like the signature enemy of Dark Souls.
Wow, so Master getting 3 attacks there in just all together. Like, Calamit didn't even take a break. Pretty interesting. Has an okay fight though.
Okay, so now Kimp is about to perform something called oh,
this is Capper Skip or Lower Berg Skip, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Well, Capper Skip is different, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is Lower Berg Skip.
Lower Berg Skip. It's a second method, I think.
Yeah, there's a million different ways you can do this, actually. This is method number 963, I believe.
But people are used to perform the trick this way because in other roads you throw some bombs to the merchants like pretty near.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the dogs. If you're not using hidden body here, you get attacked by a lot of dogs.
But luckily, this fight is so easy with the DT +5 that you don't have to worry about the dogs in the Capra fight. As people have said before, the big problem with the Capra fight is the dogs, not Capra himself.
But Master killed all the dogs with the tooth. And he was wearing the stone armor.
Alright, so Master has caught up a little bit. Kimp is now going to jump off the side of the railing over here to get down to where the Butcher is and head over to Gaping.
His jumps saves like, I don't know, 5 seconds or a bit more, I think.
Yeah.
And it's easy, I think, and it's not risky at all.
Yeah, so the one annoying thing about the Gaping fight is you do still have that caster alive upstairs, so you can occasionally get hit by him. However, with the DT +5, once again, the amount of damage it deals, you get through the fight so quickly that you usually don't have to worry about him.
Okay, so one important thing it's worth mentioning here is that almost all these bosses he's fighting now are like early on bosses, so he's gonna kill them pretty fast. Besides he's wearing a ground tooth +5, but even if he were using another weapon, it will be easy because these bosses are, as I said, are early on bosses.
Yeah, so you can see, oh, Master actually does get hit. He gets our TSR for the end of the fight, that's always nice.
Okay, so now Kimp is hitting to kill Nito. This is pretty straightforward way to the boss. You gotta be careful in some places because you don't want to die. Because if you manage to die, you are gonna hate yourself because this is the longest run back of all the run backs.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it might be a little confusing here. Master is going to go do Stray Demon right now, while Kimp does Pinwheel and Nito. So they're going to diverge a bit here.
Yeah, the things that in this state of the run, they got all the items they need, so it doesn't matter if they kill certain boss first or after another one. So it doesn't matter. I think that normally you kill Nito pretty late in the run. I think it's almost the last boss.
Yeah. I mean, some of the boss fights, yeah, like you said, it doesn't matter. You just want to make sure everything is arranged so you don't have to take an extra bonfire somewhere and waste time. Yeah.
Now, normally what you wanna do is to stick to the same thing that you do always, because you don't wanna, as you said before, you don't wanna waste time just doing like bonfires that you don't need.
Yeah. So the Stray fight, nothing special. He has 3 attacks, and sometimes a hollow with a torch can fall down into the fight. And if that happens, you kind of just want Stray Demon to kill that hollow as fast as possible so you don't get hit. But Master didn't have to worry about that. I
think the only problem with the fight is that you don't have enough like too much space for the boss, and
yeah.
you might get hit by the explosions, which have like some strange hitboxes.
Yeah, so there are 2 AoE attacks there. I mean, he has his butt fly up or whatever it is, but he also has a ground AoE and a forward AoE, and the forward AoE is the one that you can't really figure out exactly where the end of his hitboxes are, so sometimes you'll get hit by it. And Tomb of the Giants here, tough casually, very easy if you're a speedrunner because you just learn how to go through it, and there's really not much you have to worry about.
Yeah, but really tough if you're doing casually.
Yeah,
really
yeah, definitely.
Actually, there is a huge problem with doing this casually, is that you may want to use the lantern, and to use that you have to not wear the shield.
Yeah, and that's just From Software trolling everyone.
Yeah.
Alright, so Kimp gets to the second part of Tomb of the Giants here. He'll have to make it past a few pinwheels before he gets to Nito. Master may do a plunge here. I sure would like to see him do one. I'm not sure if he will.
I don't think he's gonna do it because you may crash the game. You know that.
Yeah, I mean,
if you hit certain place, you might crash the game. I don't know why.
yeah, that's one of the annoying things about this area.
He almost got trolled by the skeleton there.
Yeah, that skeleton can actually fall at the same time as you and just push you out of the way.
Yeah. So what you see here is they're doing some skips, which is not a glitch. It's part of the game. And performing that skip, I think like you skip like 50% of the, or maybe more of the place.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much, but it's
I just said a random number, but it's a lot of time.
yeah.
And one thing you gotta be careful there is the bone wheels, which are the worst enemy ever. Nah, not the worst, but they might troll you pretty hard because since you're not wearing any armor, you have like 0 poise, and you get staggered with each hit of the bone wheel. So almost every time they hit you once, they stagger you to death.
Yeah, it's kind of like a domino effect. Once you get staggered, another bone wheel comes along and starts hitting you, and you just can't get out of it.
So in a normal playthrough, you are gonna hate them.
Yeah, so Kimp with a fairly well, no, actually, wait.
No, because they changed it.
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't know. No.
So maybe Master's ahead now. I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon.
So Kimp failed a certain jump here with the.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we see there on Master's screen, he did a jump which is made to be done, but it's not that easy. But if you manage to do it, you can do it much easier than the normal way, because it's brighter. It's not. I don't know why From Software decided to make this place like pretty dark.
I'm glad they did that because it really changes the way you approach certain areas.
That's right, but it's a pain in the ass.
It is. Anyway. It is a pain in the ass.
Okay, so we didn't say anything about Nito's fight. Nito's fight is a easy fight normally because you know how the boss works, so you take some certain precautions like wearing the stone armor set or using hidden body if you are taking like any spell route. So what happened with this boss is he's surrounded by a lot of skeletons. Like there are small skeletons and big ones, and you don't want to fight them while you are fighting the boss. So what you usually do is you wait a bit so Nito comes to you and you not trigger the big skellies because they are broken. they might stagger you and drop you even if you're wearing the full set.
Yeah, those skellies are very overpowered.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we see that Kimp does have a bit of a lead, but not a huge one. He will be setting up RTSR here and then going down to Four Kings.
Okay, so pretty early on I mentioned something about the fault control quitouts. The glitch is called fault control quitouts, but here they're gonna perform the quitouts without the fault control because they never free Greeks, so they don't have the spell. So what happened is that I'm not quite sure what I'm about to say because I'm familiar with the fault control quitout, but I think they work pretty the same.
This one works based on a slope. So what happens here is he's going to inch off and hit the slope.
Same.
And as soon as he hits that slope, if he quits out while he's on the slope, he'll actually spawn below it. If he doesn't quit out while on the slope, he'll just appear back at the top.
Yeah, so it's not quite the same. I thought it was quite similar.
Yeah. See, it's like Master walked too far forward there, so he was ahead of the slope, and the quit out will put him back at the top.
Yeah, you gotta walk pretty slowly.
Yeah.
And it's the window to perform the quit out is pretty small. The problem with this skip is that if you do it too fast, you only get placed back on the ledge. But if you do it a bit slow, you die. and you have to do the run back.
Yeah, so the Four Kings fight is kind of a joke in this route as well. It's just 2 running attacks to actually make the king disappear, and then you do another running attack into the disappearing hitbox, and suddenly the second king will spawn with only, I think, like 35% of the HP or something.
So what happened here is that this boss is fragmented in different enemies, which normally is supposed to be 4, but I heard the other day in Catalyst stream that it's possible to spawn 16 of these bosses doing certain things. But the important thing about that is when this boss is dying, he's like disappearing. You are still able to deal damage to the total health pool.
Yes.
So you might do much more damage to one piece of the boss than the other ones.
All right, so a pretty good opening for Master as well. The one thing you don't want to get there is the magic attack. If you get that, then you need to heal up most of the time. Okay, so Cimp is now back in Anor Londo. It is Dark Anor Londo this time, and he is going to go over to Gwendolyn, which is a very RNG heavy fight.
Yeah. Hopes he doesn't get trolled by the boss.
Alright, so Master gets past that second king pretty easily. He'll bone out, and I think he'll follow in Cimp's footsteps. Okay, so you can see that while that elevator was rotating, he went down the stairs to the right side. If you don't stay all the way to the right, you actually hit a invisible wall or something like that, and it pushes your character upward. And
since he's too low on health, he might die to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gwendolyn's fight. What happens here in this fight is that Gwendolyn is gonna teleport on the back of the screen, and he's gonna shoot you some spells and arrows. So the 2 spells that she shots, you want to avoid them because one goes through everything and the other one hits on the walls. But the problem is that if you hit her while she's performing any of those spells, she's gonna teleport back again. And normally what you want is you gotta wait for the arrow shoots, and then you can hit her twice. You can stagger her with the first attack, and then you can kill her with a second attack. But in this route, it doesn't matter because you deal so much damage that you can kill her with 1 shot. So
yeah, that's the good thing. You can kill Gwendolyn in basically a single running attack. So you can see Cimp there got one of the magic attacks, but just ran straight to Gwendolyn and got the hit in.
now he's hitting to the painted world. And that's it on that. It's not the final boss, but it's
second to last. Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, second last.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Painted World takes a little bit of time to run through. It's not too tough, especially if you have as much health as Cimp has right here. With Hidden Body, you don't have to worry about much. Without Hidden Body, you're going to have to roll some of these attacks that you see from the hollows. That one is usually pretty consistent. That hollow will almost always jump attack you. Once in a while, you'll get different RNG, but that's the most common pattern there.
Yeah, normally you want to get hit by that guy so you can lower your health and trigger the ring, but I don't think he's gonna go Red Tears of the Ring. Because he already does a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's almost, I mean, you might be able to make the fight a little bit faster, but with DT +5, you don't really need to worry about it, and it's better to stay safe in a tournament run anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to risk it.
Yeah, so with full health, he doesn't really need to kill these two hollows down here, because he can take some hits in the back from the arrows, but he might do it anyway. Yeah, and he kills the first one at the very least.
You gotta kill these hollows even if you're using Hidden Body, because they shoot you anyway.
Yeah, they're smarter than other ones, I don't know why.
From software scene things.
Yeah. Okay, so the Gwendolyn fight, the Priscilla fight. He's gonna throw a knife here. That knife is going to stick out of the side of Priscilla, so that you can see exactly where she is, and you can see that he locks on and sees exactly her position. It's going to be one more running attack. Oh,
Whoa.
Does get hit, so I have to be careful here. All right.
Well,
not
actually, he did two things. Like he did the lock and the knife. Normally, you use like one of the tricks, but he used both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why if you target the boss and it keeps with the circle in it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
I know someone explained it before in another one, but I forgot it. I didn't pay enough attention.
All right, so Kemp is going to sit down the Lord Vessel, give the last of the souls, and then head into the kiln to finish off Gwen.
Another thing that I forgot to mention is that another important thing about ringing the bells is that you're able to place the Lord Vessel like normally. Otherwise, if you don't ring the bells, you have to talk to the other ugly serpent, which I forgot the name again. It's not Framt,
It's Koth.
Yeah, it's Card.
Or however you want to call that serpent.
And it takes a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of time, but in this route, it might take much longer because it's not intended to be that way. But if you're doing like, I don't know, Mail Draker, you might talk to Card and do the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay, so now wins fight. As many bosses, it's pretty straightforward. What you're gonna do is you want to equip the Leo ring, I think it's called, which boosts your rip host.
Yeah, the Hornet ring.
The Hornet ring. Thanks.
Yeah, so there's two different ways to do this fight. You can actually do a move swap fight as well, but with the move swap fight, unfortunately, Gwen has the tendency to jump backwards sometimes, which can cause you to die pretty quickly. So the parry riposte fight is a pretty good way of doing this.
Yeah.
So parry, do a riposte. You don't even have to two-hand this because you already have enough strength.
And because if you two-hand, it's lower than one-handed, and you don't need the extra damage because anyway you're gonna do it twice.
Yep.
So
and he jumps through the gate, and that is it for Kim, finishing in a final time of looks like about a 122.46. Didn't stop his timer, but that's okay. We can see that it was a 122.46. In-game time is 1:18.36, so a nice run for Kemp.
Yeah. It might be his best time of the. I don't know,
yeah, possibly, yeah.
But I think it might be his best time of the tournament.
Yeah. So Master coming in right behind him, just needs to finish off the Gwen fight here, and he should be done only about a minute later.
So he died once to ONS, and that's all.
I think, Kemp? Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah, and he didn't use the red gears of the ring in certain fights, but I think that's all.
All right, yeah. So basically a minute apart here. Pretty nice race. I'm not sure if they want to jump in for a quick post-race summary interview or whatever, but I'll see if they're available. All right, so I'm gonna post a link to them. If they have time, they'll jump in. If not, we may sum things up. But just give me a bit here.
Raven is trolling the The Captain's
Christ.
hidden body of his previous run.
That
Hey,
was
what's
terrible.
up, Master?
That was terrible.
Well, I mean, the big issue was ONS, right? Besides that, it wasn't
Yeah,
too
it was that
bad.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
The first one I was like, "What the fuck was I gonna do?" And the second one was completely my fault. But
right, yeah. I mean, it happens. The rest of the run looked pretty good. You did some plunges. You didn't do the catacombs plunge, which I was really disappointed with, but that's still okay.
oh,
Are you-
because last time it did not go that well.
Yeah, I know.
I thought that maybe you were afraid of crashing the game.
Oh no, that's not the problem.
Yeah.
That never happens.
And anything else? Any other comments about your
I
run?
think, Master, that maybe next time you die to ONS, you may change the way you kill the boss. Like, what Kim did is he died to the boss and he didn't use the red tears of ring for the next encounter. So he managed to kill them not that fast, but at least
But that
safer.
makes it even more random.
But at least you might get healed once or twice without dying.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and we
Yeah,
do
the
have
pro-
Kip here as well.
The problem is
I
that
mean-
the first time that you encounter the ONS fight is different than the other times. So I think that it's pretty consistent to wear the red tears of the ring in the first encounter, but in the next one it might not be that consistent.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I did get the good opening, and I got him from the dash too. But
Yeah. But
Yeah.
firstly, you got the lightning opening, or was Kim's
Yeah, that was Kemp that got the lightning opening first time.
not that good?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's one of the
And
ones
the
I
pro-
really don't want to get.
The problem.
Hey guys, how's it going?
hello.
Hey, Kemp.
Hello.
So how did you feel about your run overall, and congrats on the win?
Yeah. Oh, Master's here too. Cool. Yeah, good game, man.
GG, man.
I didn't know it was that close, man. It was.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Pretty,
Yeah,
pretty
Yeah, I
good
put
race
out
again.
on feels good for a minute because
1 minute.
I don't know why it didn't work. I couldn't walk any slower than I did.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get it to work.
So how did you feel about it overall, Kemp?
Yeah, considering I have a massive headache for a couple hours, it went quite okay.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, the one unfortunate thing was that first ONS opening that happened to be lightning, so they were kind of in a bad location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Hey,
I-
Master, I got a question. There is any reason that you decided to kill Stray Demon before Needles? 'Cause-
I always do it like that. There's not
Okay.
really any reason to it. Nah.
I don't think
I
that
just-
there is actually any time saver in changing the way you kill the bosses at the end.
Nah, it doesn't really matter. I always did it like this because usually I always sort them to like the chance of resetting. So it's first Capra, then Gaping, then Stray, and then Nido. And I just kept it like that. It's just what I'm used to.
Yeah, in terms of the way you do the fights there, it shouldn't really matter too much. I know Kemp went ahead and did Nido first, and then did Stray afterwards. But yeah,
You can start with Stray. It doesn't
Mhm.
really matter.
yeah, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. Yeah, so I mean, the big thing was just a few missed skips, but overall, I thought the times were pretty good, even though Master is a little bit unhappy about, I guess, the ONS deaths and seal skip.
I got another question. Did you forget to throw a knight to Priscilla? Or something, the Master? Because
Oh, no,
I
no,
didn't
no.
see you...
I just fucked up the jump attack and got an R2 instead and then missed her.
Yeah, okay, that's what happened.
Well, no, I don't usually want to damage in there. Don't really want to throw any shit.
All right, so any other comments before we sign off for now?
Kim, what's your IGT at, by the way?
118, I think.
118.30 or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
so it was only 10 seconds apart for IGT. Amazing.
Yeah, he'll seal skip.
The master
Yeah.
magic. Yeah, I died to
Yeah.
Quelaag, actually. That was retarded what I did there, so.
Oh,
you died to
that's right.
Quelaag?
The Quelaag death.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I
I
forgot
died to
about that
Quelaag.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
dang.
Next time you better shield with the Dragon Tooth.
Exactly. I was like, I even healed before the 4 game. Like, I can tank that. And no, I can't.
Yeah, but you took counter hit damage from the explosion. You died instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, you had the bonfire pretty near, so it wasn't a huge problem.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Oh, yeah, right.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna let the runners go. GG guys. Thanks so much for joining in for a quick interview afterwards, and good luck, Kemp, in the next rounds.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Thank you for the
Cheers.
tournament. It's pretty awesome.
take care.
See you all, and hope we see you again in another run.
Yep. Okay. Everyone, take care. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the Speed Gaming staff for doing what they usually do, as usual, and thank you, Kazvin, for commentating with me.
Thanks as well, Tepu.
Yeah. See you all later.
See you guys.